Good morning, my federal phoenixes. Today we are going to talk about federal PSRs. Um, you will, assuming you're watching my videos, you're a person who has pre-sentence release. So your PSR, pre-sentence report, some people call it a PSI, but generally in the feds for sentencing it's called a PSR, is a report that will be done by the Federal Probation Department. And it's going to be pretty in-depth, and it's going to cover your childhood, any substance abuse issues, your family dynamics, your socioeconomic circumstances, demographics. It's going to give there is going to be an opportunity at the end for you to, take responsibility for your crimes, because part of this will be, if you took a plea deal, let's not be goofy and not do that. But a part of this will be at the end of it will be the recommendation from the Federal Probation Department regarding your sentencing. If they think you should be given some leniency, if they think you should be given a harsh sentence, if they think that you've taken accountability for your crimes, you're less likely to reoffend, that kind of thing. So this video is about preparing for your PSR. Now this interview can be quite timely. Typically your lawyer will accompany you to this as a formality. If you're not sure if or how you should answer a question, you are allowed to and encouraged at any time to just kind of say, I need to take this one out in the hall with my lawyer real quick, need a moment. But I did my PSR about a week or two ago. I can't remember exactly, I want to say a week ago. And it was pretty much straightforward, pretty much what I expected. Prior to your PSR, the Federal Probation Office will give you a checklist of paperwork to bring. You need to bring at least a copy, if not the originals, preferably a copy. Actually makes everyone's day go faster. Your Social Security card, your birth certificate, any educational credentials you have, whether it be a GED, a diploma, any trade schooling, that kind of thing. You need to bring proof of residency, copy your lease, some utility bills. Utility bills are good too, because they show residency and they show expenses. If you have any type of child support situation, you need to bring proof of that. If you have got custody of your children, it's good to bring that. If you wear eyeglasses, bring that. Bring a printout from your pharmacy of all the prescriptions you are currently taking. This needs to come directly from your pharmacy, not you sat down and wrote a list before you went out the door. Pretty much documentation to validate, as much documentation as you can, the more the better, to validate you are who you say you are, your current circumstances. And that's pretty much the gist of it. Now, typically when the PSR is done, it's usually done a little over a month before your actual sentencing date. So this is mid-July right now. My sentencing is mid-September, so probably mid-August is when my lawyer will get his copy. Typically what they do is they email your lawyer a copy, and then it's on your lawyer to sit with you and meet with you and go over that. If there are any discrepancies in the PSR, you can talk to the Federal Probation Department and ask them to change them. Anything that's inaccurate. If they choose not to, you can file a motion with the judge, or at least point out to the judge that these things are not factual, per the client, per the defendant. If you can back that up with paperwork of any type, that would be even better. Your PSR is basically one of the many things, because there are a few different parameters in place, to show the judge who you are outside of your criminal conduct, to show the judge a little bit about your background, your circumstances when you committed your crime, what you've done since your crime. You a person who was arrested or indicted or got a target letter, a year, 2, 3, 4 years ago, and has done nothing but the minimum in life since. Like you kind of just take care of your kids, or you just continue working a 9 to 5, but you haven't done anything, in regards to restorative justice. You haven't done any community service. You aren't voluntarily in any type of substance abuse treatment or any type of mental health counseling, if that's a factor in your situation. Have you tried to have you identified your victims? Have you tried to make amends? I think one of the most important aspects of the PSR is this is another opportunity for you, the defendant, to show the judge that before or during your crimes, you're overall an average, decent person, who maybe has had difficulties. We've all had difficulties. But more so that since your crimes, or your, we don't even need to say alleged because we're beyond that at this point in the process. But, since the commission of your crimes, you have been introspective and you've taken inventory and you've been proactive to minimize any possibility of your recidivism. You've been proactive to take responsibility for yourself. You've been proactive to put parameters and safety nets in place to keep you from being in whatever situation you were in when you committed your crimes. And I know some of you may be watching my videos and thinking, oh, she sounds like a bootlicker, Was this Judge Judy? But really, the reality is, I'm a person on pre-sentence release. I'm a person who has not been sentenced yet by the feds. So, I'm a person who needs to be very cautious what I say. Um, I'm also a person who does believe in personal accountability. I'm also a person who is generally a decent person. And I'm also kind of a tough love, when a friend or family member comes to me with a difficulty or, an obstacle they're dealing with, I don't abandon people. I ride it out with you, but I'm not going to sit back and we just watch the ship sink. You come to me and say, "Hey, the ship is sinking. We're going down." I'm not going to say, "Oh, this is sad. Let me hold your hand." I'm going to say, "Go find some shit to float on in case, we can't stop this sucker. And in the meantime, I'm going to try to fix the hole. Let's go, let's go, let's go." So, you know, part of my being a very proactive person, and a very straightforward person is I think a lot of my personality in regards to that comes through in these videos. But so anyway, I don't even know why I felt a need to explain that, but anyway, so for your PSR, now as far as how you dress for your PSR, you don't need to dress like you're going to court. Actually, I would think it'd be to your detriment to dress like you're going to court. You want to come across to your federal PO the federal PO who does your PSR, which PS is probably not going to be the same federal PO who's doing your pre-sentence monitoring, your pre-sentence probation. At least in my case, it wasn't. And I think that's more of to create like a checks and balances system, um, for the feds and for the probation office and for you as a defendant. But you want to come across as very transparent, very sincere. You want to come across very authentic and genuine. You want to really kind of be like, this is who I am. And, that's a lot more believable. That's a lot more, it feels realer when a person is just wearing what they casually typically wear. When their body language is as relaxed as possible. I mean, you're going to be uncomfortable. You're going to be nervous. This is not pleasant. It's like that scene in 300 where the guy was, doing some crazy stuff to the queen. And he said, this is not going to be over quickly, nor will you enjoy it. And that's pretty much what sums up the federal process as a defendant. It's not going to be over quickly, and you will not enjoy it. And that's putting it minimally. But you need to be, make sure you got on clean clothes. Make sure you wash your face. Make sure your breath smells decent. Try to be pleasant. Definitely be respectful. And after the PSR is done, a copy will get emailed to your lawyer who's supposed to meet with you. Now, in my case, not only is a copy getting emailed to my lawyer, but the PO who's doing the PSR asked if I wanted a copy emailed or mailed to me, and I said, yes, please mail it. That way I have, it's easier for me to just kind of look it over and, find discrepancies or critique it. And you definitely want to be very proactive in looking it over and making sure it's correct, because this document will follow you throughout your journey in the federal correction system. And this document will be incredibly influential on how the judge sentences you, on the housing designation you get. This document could easily determine whether you end up going to, if you're a woman, a camp or a low, prison. Now, in the women's prison, interestingly enough, in the feds, there's no mediums. So if you're a man, this could be the determining factor between a medium and a high, medium and a low, is what Grand Prairie, who processes, people to figure out, to designate what prison they go to. The Fed office in Grand Prairie may see some things on your PSR that kind of sways them, kind of tips the cup in one way or the other. So you really want to be doing what you can right now to get your paperwork together if you've not done your PSR. Once you get your PSR done, to really make sure that it is accurate. And really, that's all you need to do. I mean, your PSR is a really straightforward kind of situation. But definitely be very proactive and make sure you're bringing all the documentation you can. Make sure you present yourself in a reasonably friendly, not overly friendly, don't be weird, and respectful manner. And you want to make sure that any corrections that need to be done are done. So, and I think they can do it over the phone or over video. I know for me, my local Fed thing is federal courthouse and probation office and stuff is like an hour and a half away. We did mine in person, and I think that's generally the preferred mode of doing that. So, anywho, that's pretty much everything you need to know about the federal PSRs. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. If you like the video, feel free to subscribe, and you can hit the dingy button, the little bell icon for notifications if you'd like. As you all know, in a few months, I expect to be heading to federal prison. And so from that point until I get out of prison, which could be up to 4 years, I will not be posting videos. So if you want to kind of, a couple years down the road or whatever, see or hear from me again, with my new information and experience and perspective, which I think will be interesting for me and probably most of you, hit the notifications bell. That way you know when I post new videos. So I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. Good day. God bless. And fly high, my phoenixes.